Hello, my friends, and happy Friday. Welcome to episode 223 of Why Did I Buy This? My name is Lindsay, and I am a craft instructor from here in Edmonton, Alberta. I have been teaching crafting for over 22 years. I love to teach crafting, and I love sharing ideas with you. So I started this series to help crafters figure out unique ways to use products that they either have in their collections or they'd like to have in their collections. And so I hope this appeals to you. Today we're going to be playing with a autumn themed bundle. And that's partly because we have the Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada. And so it's just kind of on theme. I'm looking out my window right now. We've got beautifully colored leaves. We have bright, sunny blue skies. And so it's a very nice time to be creating both thank you and birthday cards for the fall season. Now, a couple of things before we get started. We have an amazing promotion on our demonstrator starter kit right now. So if you're somebody who loves all things crafting, then you're going to want to listen up to this. We have a starter kit here in Canada that is only $48. And with your $48, there's no shipping or tax charged on that. You are going to receive $165 of products of your choice. And the key with that, not only is it an amazing, amazing deal, but you also get to choose some pre-order items because we have, as demonstrators, the ability to pre-order items before they become available to the public. So we have our new online exclusives that will come out in November. And so we are going to have that opportunity to add that to your starter kit. There's also a higher price starter kit. You can pay $135, and I think I want to say $200 and some to do that. But my suggestion to you is get the lower price starter kit and then start taking advantage of your 20% discount, which is ongoing for all active demonstrators. And then it applies to your first quarterly minimum. So $48, you pick out $165 of product. You get to be part of the Cloud9 Stampers team, which has many perks as well. Hello, Sharon. Yes, please say hi as you're tuning in. If you're watching the replay, you can let me know that too. Pool party Friday, indeed. I actually don't have any pool party today, which seems like wrong on so many levels, but I think you're still going to be very happy with what I'm going to share. So as I mentioned, we're going to be working with some autumn themed projects today, as well as some sneak peeks of new product that's coming out in November, unless you're a demonstrator, in which case you can pick it out now. I have a class coming up on Wednesday this week, and that is for the Love and Courage class. It will include the Love and Courage stamp set. Now, this stamp set is a fundraising stamp set for Stampin' Up. So with the purchase of each stamp set, you get, they are donating $4 to cancer organizations, breast cancer organizations within your market, so here in Canada. And also, all of the proceeds from this class, I am donating to the Alberta Cancer Foundation. So this is just a way to make 3 cards for people you might know who might need some encouragement, as well as get a copy of your stamp set and then be able to have a little donation go to a great cause. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is that my friends Lauren and Kelly and I are hosting a demonstrator retreat on November 29th, that's a Saturday. And so when you take advantage of this starter kit, you have the opportunity to come to a full day craft event. This is just for active demonstrators. And so this is a really great time to be able to get together. We can meet in person and share some tons of crafting inspiration for you, as well as a loot bag filled with $85 worth of consumable products. You have the opportunity to swap if you want to. We're going to have a poutine bar. It's going to be fabulous. So remember, take advantage of that starter kit, and then you can sign up for our demonstrator retreat. It's going to be a great event. It's called Making Spirits Bright. So if you have more questions about that, feel free to reach out by messenger or in the comments, and I can reach back out to you and let you know what you need to know. All right. I think that's everything I need to tell you right now. I think the last thing I just wanted to say is that when you place a $60 order before shipping and tax and after any redeemed Stampin' Rewards, you are automatically going to be receiving the October Creative Stamping Collective video tutorial. This is 12 videos that are on YouTube, and it's exclusive to people ordering, so you can get to take advantage of this amazing class just by placing an order. So it's another way to inspire you. So go ahead and place the order on my online store, and then I will send you out the link for that. Okay, I'm gonna do my awkward transition so you can see my hands. Now's a good time to share the video so your friends can join in live, and I will show you what we're going to be crafting today. So I'm gonna just scroll back in here. Okay, just like that. Oh, I forgot to turn my light on. Sorry, friends. Let's just get our lighting set up. Nice. Excellent. Okay, so today, like I said, we're going to be working with an autumn themed stamp set, and this one is called Amber Autumn. It has some really beautiful detailed drawing that you can watercolor, lovely, lovely watercoloring, and we're going to watercolor 3 ways today, and it has coordinating dies as well as a scene builder die in it. So a great set for your Thanksgiving and other fall themed projects. So the first project I wanted to show you, like I said, we have 3 different ways we're going to watercolor. So the first way is we're going to bring in a clear block, and I'm going to use it as a palette. So you'll see I'm taking my shaded spruce and smashing it into the clear block, and then I'm bringing in pecan pie, just like so. And then I'm going to use my water. So this is just plain water, not alcohol. And we're going to spritz it, and then I'm going to bring in a piece of Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and we're going to smash that in there like that. And so we get this really fun palette of watercoloring. Now I'm going to use a heat tool to speed this up, just so that we don't have to sit on video and wait for it to dry. You probably know your heat tool is used for heat embossing, which is such a fun technique, but today we're just going to use it for drying. Just really helps with the time. Okay, so there we've got almost dry. And you can see how that water has made that beautiful blending of those 2 colors. Now I'm going to bring in the stamp that has the oak leaves and the acorns on it. And I'm going to use a StazOn color that is easy to miss. So StazOn is a solvent-based ink, and this is the best ink you can use when you're working with watercoloring. Now this one is the saddle brown color. And one thing to pay attention to with your StazOn pad is there's a plastic cover that says do not discard. It's really important that you hold that in place because it is going to help protect the felt pad so it doesn't dry out. It's really helpful to have an ink refill with each of your StazOn colors, and I like to ink refill every time that I open it up and use it in that particular session. So it just helps to make sure that you have enough ink and it's ready to go. So I'm going to use this to create an image that is not quite as stark as a black line image would be. So this is what I mean by that. So you can see that image is stamped on there, and it is just a little more subtle than if we were to do it in black. Now, one of the things that's so great about the bundle is we have a coordinating die set. So we're going to run this through the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine and cut that out. Think about it as a cookie cutter for stamps. And once we have that done, we're going to be able to use that as our focal point. Now, I wanted to show you this really beautiful product that's available now. And this is velvet paper. So it comes in green, it comes in red, and it comes in white. They're kind of reminiscent of shaded spruce, real red, and white, but they're just labeled red, green, and white. So what I did, the velvet paper holds texture really well. So I brought in the Gathering Leaves embossing folder, and I ran the velvet through my die cutting machine. And I don't know, can you see it in the, does it show up in the light? It creates the most amazing texture on this velvet paper. So I love that it's got texture in the velvet, but it also has texture from the embossing folder, and that's going to be on the background. Now I'm going to skip ahead to the finished card because the rest is just layering. But here's what it looks like when we die cut out that image. So it goes from being, you know, overwhelming to being subtle. And you can see we've got that really pretty soft line detail. But what I wanted to show you this, I squealed when I saw that we had this back in our collection. So this is 12 by 12 vellum paper that I've used a die to cut out. But we have vellum coming back in November. Again, if you want to throw that in your demonstrator starter kit, that could be part of your $165 choice. But this is just so exciting. There's so many techniques you can do with vellum, and I was really, really missing it. So this is making me very happy. And another thing that I wanted to show you that's a sneak peek is this. Okay, so this is a bundle. It's called Banner Sayings. Again, this will be out in November or free. Sorry, not free. Part of your starter kit. It's almost free. It feels like almost free with the starter kit deal right now. So first of all, I wanted to share with you, this is our new stamp packaging. So as new stamp sets are released, you're going to see that they're coming out in these flat envelopes so that we have the ability to really save on storage. It also coordinates with the dies so that you have one type of storage for all of your stamps and dies. So this Banner Sayings coordinates with a punch, and this punch cuts out all of these little banners, which again, we used to have some things kind of like this, but nothing that was a trio. And I just think, oh, I'm so happy to have something like this back. It does the little flagged ends for you, and it fits perfectly with all of these sayings. So, so exciting. Again, you can put that into your starter kit right now or wait until November. So here is our first project and our first way of watercoloring on our Fluid 100 watercolor paper. Okay, we're going to move to the next project. So this time we're going to use StazOn, but we're going to use the black. So it's the same deal. You want to make sure that you hold on to that plastic cover, and you've got your little ink refill that you can add back in your ink pad. Make sure that it's basically primed and ready for you to stamp. Okay, and I squeezed a little bit in, but then I just used the nozzle without squeezing and just use that to kind of work the ink into the felt pad. So now I'm going to bring in this line drawn pumpkin set. It's really pretty. And we're going to ink that all up and then stamp it onto, I think I need to do it this way, stamp it onto our watercolor paper. Just like that. Isn't that a pretty stamp? Okay, make sure that lid goes back on. And then, real quick, I wanted to show you, so if you have StazOn, there is a StazOn all-purpose cleaner. So you can just go ahead and add that all-purpose cleaner, and then you can use your Stampin' Scrub, or you can use a wipe, or you can use anything that you're typically using for your cleaning your stamps, and you can just pull that StazOn cleaner off, and then it removes any of that solvent-based cleaner. Because the thing that makes StazOn so wonderful is that it basically sticks to everything. You can stamp on plastic, you can stamp on vellum, you can stamp on paper, fabric. So this is just a way to be able to make sure that it comes off your stamps. Okay, so here's our second way of watercoloring. I'm going to bring in a little palette, and you can see I've kind of had one on the go here. So we have Garden Green, we have Pecan Pie, we have Darling Duckling, and Timid Tiger. Really beautiful fall colors. So now I'm going to bring in my water painter. These are now back in stock. And I'm just making sure the brush is running clean. And we're going to start by adding a water wash over top of where I want color to go. So now I'm going to pick up some orange, and I just use my brush and kind of squeeze to like make it not quite so concentrated. And now I'm going to run it over top of the pumpkin. And so it kind of uses that water to fill in the channels which is really, really pretty. I'm just using the brush around some of the more detailed places, right? So that is a really fun way to be able to watercolor. It's not very exact. You don't have to be an artist. I'm not feeling like, okay, art school was important in order to make this card. No, we're just gonna have some fun. Let the water do the work. You can see I'm going a little lighter here on the one on the front. And that just helps to create different textures on the card. And then with our darling duckling, now we're gonna go over top of our little gourd in the background here. And same thing, we can grab a little bit of yellow and then go over top. And so it's really not that deep, but it does make for a very cute project. So once again, it's helpful to dry things in between. That way you don't have any color running together where you don't want it to. I don't mind, like I could have done it where I dried each pumpkin individually, but because they're kind of all the same color, it's not a big deal. But because we're gonna now work with our leaves, I don't wanna have that run together with our pumpkin. We kind of wanna have it to be a little bit separate. So I've got the leaves here on the corn. So we're gonna grab some of that garden green and again, just go over top like so. And here's some over here. Okay, we'll dry again. And then we have our corn at the bottom. Okay, and you can bring in some yellow into the leaves. Here in the background, it's kind of like fall grasses. Okay, nice. Okay, so next step, once we dry our coloring here. So our next step is I am bringing in the pen end of one of my Stampin' Write markers. So this is Pecan Pie. And we're just going to use that to create a little bit of shading along where the shading in the detail of the stamp is, just to make it stand out a little bit more. So I'm kind of just following along the top and the bottom, and we can use this end to color in the stem of the pumpkin as well. Over here, we can do the same. Same thing, just kind of following along. We're not doing anything too crazy, just sort of that shading along the bottom. I just liked how it made it stand out a little bit more. And then same over here. Just like that. So there you can see it creates just that little bit more detail in the background. Okay, I'm going to skip to the finished card and show you what it looks like when we layer it. So this is with the Autumn Toile paper, and then we have the earthen toned metallic paper, and there you can see what it looks like when we die cut out that image and add one of our little banner sayings to that card. So that's number 2 for watercoloring. Let's go on to number 3. And again, with that same bundle, we're going to go a little bit different colors this time. So here we're going to make sure that our brush is cleaned out, and then we're going to watercolor or just water wash over our Fluid 100 watercolor paper. So watercolor paper is a thick cotton, and it handles excess water really, really well. So I'm bringing in Pretty in Pink, Lemon Lolly, and not Pecan Pie, Soft Seafoam. So here we're going to start with yellow, and we'll just add, yeah, I think I need a little bit more yellow. We're going to add that paint to the watercolor wash that we've done. just like that. Just kind of add some strokes to it. And then we're gonna clean off our brush again and then pick up some pink this time. So the pretty in pink. So you can see how it all starts to run together. And then at the bottom, we're gonna do soft seafoam. Right? So now we have this little watercolor spectrum that we've created. Once again, we're going to speed up the drying time. And there you can see what it looks like with that spectrum of the 3 colors. Now, in our set of dies here, we have this really nice, I think it's an oak leaf, right? Just grab it out. So what we're going to do is die cut out over the 3 colors that we created, 3 different leaves. And you can kind of overlap them in different ways depending on how you want those 3 colors to show in your leaf. So I'll show you what that looks like when we've cut 3 out. So there you can see we've got 3 that have those colors all blended together. Now to create the background of this card, I'm actually going to remove this sheet because I don't want to get anything wet. So what we're going to do is bring in a piece of 2-tone cardstock. So this is Crumb Cake, and the 2-tone cardstock is a really good deal. They come in 12 by 12 sheets, and they're the true color on the one side and then a lighter version of that color on the other. And what I love about this, so I've ran it through that same embossing folder, the Gathering Leaves, excuse me. And I'm going to bring in, you can tell I've been stamping for a long time. This is a very old tool in my studio, and it's just a little sanding block. And that sanding block with the 2-tone cardstock is going to remove that top layer of pigment, and it creates just a little bit more texture in the background. Because our 2-tone cardstock has a white core, it allows you to have that ability to really play with your texture images and create that extra layer of color. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so with this card, I wanted to add a piece of vellum. You can tell already, I'm loving the vellum. And that is going to be the background for where we add our leaves. And I wanted to create a focal point for those leaves. And so I used the Stylish Shapes dies to be able to cut out 3 circles, and I'll bring in my finished card. So here you can see we've got those 3 leaves on top of pretty in pink circles. And there is the banner saying thanks a million. I love the font on that. With those strawberry slush gems. So just really, really pretty. Not in the fall colors. I feel like you don't always have to stick to oranges and browns for fall, but this is just kind of a nice thank you card for this time of year. So one more time, we've got our one way of watercoloring, which is doing the watercolor wash and then just swiping color over the background. We have the watercolor technique where we filled in each image and then added the color after. And then we have the one where we did the press onto the clear block. And if you're thinking to yourself, Lindsay, why don't I have these products? You need to head to my online store and shop away. You can find my store at cloud9stampers.com. And it's a great place to get great ideas. All of my tutorials are there for sale. If you've missed out on previous ones, you can get them for $18 Canadian, as well as the details on the starter kit promotion and lots and lots and lots of different tutorials and ideas. So I hope you'll visit my website. It's actually been revamped in the last few months. So if you've been before and you want to go check it out now, it's a great time to go do it. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I'm grateful for all of you in this community. Thanks for watching and sharing this video with friends. It means the world to me that you enjoy crafting alongside. Have a great weekend, my friends. Bye for now.